Hey folks, Ben Gilbert here with Engadget, and I've got Alexander Slowinski of Joystiq, and we are here at Sony's E3 2013 big press conference, press briefing, because they don't actually hold questions afterwards, so it's not really a conference. But we are going to learn more about the PlayStation 4 today.
Hopefully.
And we're hopefully going to learn the price.
To see?
Hopefully we'll get a look at the box.
See the box.
Right, that's definitely the biggest question, right? Like they came out with their big showing in February, I want to say, late February, and they showed the controller, they showed PS4i, they showed a bunch of games, they talked about architecture, but they really didn't show the box. They talked about what's in the box, they talked about things that are going to run on the box, but we still haven't seen the box. And so, I guess that's the biggest thing.
Well, this is our fourth press conference of the day, because as you can see on me already, we started off with Microsoft, we went on to EA, Ubisoft didn't have anything, and then we've got Sony right here. So we're exhausted.
We are. Yes.
You need to.
I know. I'm aware. I'm not looking my best right now. But what are we gonna do? What are you gonna do about that?
But yeah, we definitely would like to actually see what the PlayStation 4 looks like.
Absolutely.
And then a price would be quite excellent as well. The Xbox was given a $500 price tag.
$499.99, I believe the folks in marketing would like you to say. But yes, you're right. It was given a $500 price tag, and that was kind of the big pockmark on Sony at PlayStation 3, right? Was that they had the $500 as the lowest price model for the PlayStation 3, and then $600 for the more expensive one, of course. But so
we also don't know
really
what the hard drives
deal,
are going
right?
to be.
Is that we don't know we don't know the price, we don't know what the box looks like, and those are really. I say this all because Sony's in a really good place right now, right? Sony came out with a really strong message, all games, all focused on the hardcore gamer, and people ate that up, especially the internet and the most rabid, the most vocal of fans.
It's quite interesting. Microsoft's first press conference last month, actually.
It's like 3 weeks ago, not even.
3 weeks ago. At their press conference, it was very much like, let's talk about the mainstream, let's talk about television, let's talk about sports. But it wasn't talking about games, whereas Sony took the opposite approach in their introduction for the PlayStation 4, and it was very much like games. Microsoft earlier today went with that games approach. So we'll see if Sony decides to focus on games or focus more on Netflix and Hulu and HBO Go and all the streaming and sports content that we haven't really seen them talk that much about yet.
It's weird. I feel like they're in a weird place as a result of having come out so, it seems maybe unfair, but they came out so strong in February that it feels like it would be really hard to match that, right? It would be really hard to stay that solid, straightforward message without getting into the boondoggle of used games or the price or like these things are going to have to come out, right? So it's like, is that going to be tonight? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, what was another interesting thing is that at the Sony event previously, they brought Jonathan Blow from who did Braid on stage and had him introduce the witness, and it was very much, it's been known as the Jonathan Blow moment, that indie games moment.
Right.
And Microsoft today at their press conference, where it's like, yeah, we're totally into indie games, and they bring out Minecraft, and then move on from there.
We'll hit below, in fairness. Regardless, I don't want to get.
Right,
I don't want to quibble about this.
It wasn't that Jonathan Blow, like, hey, we're going to put all these indie games on the Vita and all this cross-play. That we could see more of today. We could see them really focused on Vita and showing off the Vita and the indie sort of track they've been on.
So that's what I think is what we're going to see, right? Like, I think that we're going to see them focus a ton on that. We're going to see a lot of the Vita integration, talking more about the remote play as like a crucial part, a component of your PlayStation 4, and they'll do what I assume what Microsoft did earlier today with the price, where they just kind of throw it out real quick and move on. And I imagine that's what
Microsoft was
Sony
just like,
today, right?
It's going to be $500.
Right.
Just left.
And as a result of that, I think that I expect we'll see that tonight as well, right? Like, it seems like the only way to handle
Do you think they're just going to be like, it's $599?
Well, I think that they learned their lesson in the let's come out and say you need to get a second or third job.
It better not be $599.
And it certainly better not be $599.
Better not need a third job.
But no, I mean, they came out with a lot of arrogance with the price on the PlayStation 3, and so far, a big part of their messaging on PlayStation 4 has been to reverse a lot of the bad messaging they came out with on the PlayStation 3. So it seems like they would just continue to stay that course. And who knows, maybe they'll be the ones that go the contract subsidy route, and they have some other plan to make it less expensive, and that would be great. I don't know. I know that I don't want to spend $1,000 on game consoles this year, so I'm certainly hoping it costs less than $500. But yeah, I mean, we saw Jack Tretton come out a few weeks ago and say that he hopes it will be less than $600 or some such, but I mean, that could just be trying to set our expectations.
There's no way they're going to come out again and be like, oh, here's the PlayStation 4 and it's $599. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. Today, during Microsoft, when they announced the price, the people around me gasped and went, "What?" So
Right.
I don't think we could use that repeat. I mean, I think the difference between $500 and $600 is $500 is gasps and what, and $600 is just you can hear a pin drop in like the entire stadium. Like if they say the PlayStation 4 is $600, it's just gonna be like.
Well, we know it's going to be more expensive just because it's got some really expensive tech in there, right? It's got the fancier GDDR5 RAM. It's got a bunch of very, very expensive chips in there, right? They got a ton of Jaguar core CPUs in there. They have a fancy GPU. They have custom integrated it all together. And so it's presumptuously going to be, I can't imagine it's going to be $200. You know, it's definitely not going to be on the low end of the spectrum. But again, we're hoping that it's not $600. And yeah, it seems like they would have learned that lesson, but we'll see. We'll definitely see.
So what we're waiting for today is the box, the price, and more games.
And games, right? So like that's the other thing that I really wanted to make sure we touched on is stuff like The Last of Us just came out. There's no other Uncharted game that's been announced. Seems like a lock we would see something like from Naughty Dog, for instance. But what else, right? Like I'm trying to think.
More Killzone. Sony loves to trot out Killzone.
More Killzone, more Infamous, more Knack, some of the games that we already saw, but I'm wondering what those big exclusives will be, right? Or what those big announcements will be today. And hopefully it'll be exciting, right?
And the good thing is that they've kept it under wraps. I mean, we're going to be surprised.
At very least, we'll have some surprises coming, right? So let's go in and find out, and we'll be back after the show to talk more about the PlayStation 4, and hopefully we won't have our faces in perma-scream from a $600 price. Thanks.